Anand Sweets, whoever it is, if you see those two advanced rulings of Uttarakhand,
Yes, sir.
AAR and AAAR from Uttarakhand, they said you make one demarcation in the sweet shop. Left side is sitting and right side is standing. Where you're sitting, it is 5. Where you're standing, it is 18%. What rubbish? So therefore, please be very careful when we are reading this HSN code clarification, that when it is goods as a goods, the clarification will apply. When it is goods as a service, this clarification has no role to play. I'll give another example. Suppose we go somewhere and we take a thali meal. And as part of the thali meal, one packet of bhujia is kept in the thali, kept in the same Haldiram packet, 50-gram packet, for hygiene purpose. It is now lost its identity as a goods. It is supplied as part of the thali. So it is become a merged with the thali meal. It is 5% tax. If you take combo meal, pizza with Pepsi, 5% tax, not 40% tax. So therefore, comments please. What do you think about this?
Sir, combo, if you're giving, how it will be?
No, you're not. We'll not go and get into second example. We'll stick to bhujia example, fafda, all these things. What are all nice items in Suksagar only? I'm thinking.
Even hotel also we can think.
Sir, how do we say that because it is subject to Legal Metrology Act, only then the character of goods gets retained, otherwise not, sir?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, was I audible? Hello, was I audible?
Yeah. You're audible.
Oh, I am not audible. Huh? Okay. So basically what they're saying is, where you go to one regulator and make a assertion on facts about one thing, you cannot go to GST and deny that fact. So therefore, what is the assertion we're making in legal metrology? When you put any product in a package, Legal Metrology Act requires us to put MRP. And when we are affixing MRP and it is an item of food, they want you to comply with food safety standards. So they will tell you, first you go get FSSAI registration, then you come and apply for package commodity compliance. So I have gone to FSSAI, told them that I'm selling goods. I have gone to legal metrology, told them that I'm selling goods. How I will come to GST and say I'm supplying service? Similarly, if I go to FSSAI and say I am supplying idli in a cart on the street, I am supplying tea in a making tea in a cart on a street, FSSAI says you have exemption. You are called an FBO, food business operator. I will not give you registration. Corporation only has to look after your cleanliness and hygiene related things, but I will not give you registration. I will go to a Legal Metrology Act and tell them I want to sell these goods. He will say, without FSSAI, I will not give you registration because you're selling dosa and tea. There is a very strong factual basis that other regulators have examined and assessee has accepted. Now we cannot come back to GST and say, no, it is goods. So therefore, my support I get from FSSAI and legal metrology has to be the basis on which I will say whether it is goods or service in GST. Once I have put MRP on the packet, even if I don't resell it, it is still goods. You go to Big Bazaar, you buy Haldiram's Son Papdi, Haldiram Bhujia packet, and take it home and consume it. It is still sold by Big Bazaar as goods. See, this is where the facts of the trade are sort of merging with a fiction in the law. We cannot say all namkeens are at 18 or 12%. And to answer Venu's question, why Kanti Sweet, Anand Sweets, Mahalakshmi Sweets, all of these people are charging 18 and 12% taxes because they have 14% ITC. 5% without ITC is effectively 19% tax. Some are even more than 14%, especially when they use ghee and sugar. So therefore, please be very careful. There is large scale evasion of tax going on in these food items in order to maximize ITC. You know, one Amul Badam milk or MTR Badam milk tin, the product costs 20 rupees, 11 rupees is the tin itself. 9 rupees is the milk. So let's examine this rate of tax subject to the fiction in Schedule 2. Let's not take this rate of tax as absolute and go and tell Suksagar that they have to pay 12% tax.
Sir, one small doubt. Legal metro FSSAI is general food safety, no, sir. Like, does it mean if there is FSSAI, it becomes service?
FSSAI is a regulator who gives exemption, who regulates the operator if it is a service. For example, all these cart fellows, Pani Puri fellows, they are called a food business operator and no regulation applies to them under FSSAI Act. But if you are not an FBO, now you see in GST we will classify, in GST we classify somebody as an e-commerce operator. Everybody who has a website does not become e-commerce operator. To be an e-commerce operator, you must control the cash. If you can control the cash, then you become an e-commerce operator. Just like that, facts established and confirmed by the assessee as well as by the third party will become relevant to determine how we treat it in GST. I'm not saying GST is outsourcing the investigation to FSSAI, but I'm saying GST cannot ignore the assertion made in FSSAI. Take the next example of cancer drugs. It is a medicine, 12% to 5%, but if it is administered by the hospital, it is a service exempt from tax. We can understand it more readily when we are dealing with medicines, but somehow our lines are getting blurred when we are talking about namkeen. Please contrast entry 1 and 2 and then share your thoughts.
Like all these packaged food has this FSSAI license, no, sir. So
Which one? Give me an example.
like, for example, basmati rice, for example.
Basmati rice sold in pre-package is liable to tax. It is goods.
Correct.
It is goods. Rice
It is good.
uncooked can never be service, ma.
Correct. It is good. So I'm trying to understand, would FSSAI become goods or would it become service?
FSSAI registration with package
Will become
commodity
good.
compliance is always goods.
Got it. Fair. Got it.
Sir, I have a small doubt, sir. I'm just thinking of a, hypothetical scenario. Assuming there is a factory, okay, and outside the factory or inside my apartment, there is a vending machine wherein there are 4 types of juices. One is say grape juice, one is orange juice, but ultimately when I go to the vending machine, put my coin and what I get is a bottled juice. Okay, for which the manufacturer has not taken any FSSAI license.
Okay.
If that be the case, will it be a product bottle? It comes in bottle, Tetra Pak.
I'll give example. I tell you what is this juice. This juice is sugarcane juice.
Okay.
Now, why it has to be complicated soda juice? Sugarcane juice.
Okay.
It is sold in a PET bottle.
Yes, sir.
What is the purpose of the PET bottle? You have to explain. What is the purpose of sugarcane juice? You have to explain. The way it functions is, examine what is the purpose of the packaging. Is it for hygiene and handling? Or is it for shelf life? See, the circular came regarding ice cream and everybody paid 18%. So our minds have got contaminated. But But please, can we ignore the fiction in Schedule 2 in the face of a stupid circular? What happens to our professional capability of interpretation of law? We are not going to parrot whatever is there in the circular. Then we will become a ready reckoner. We are not a consultant.
Mm.
You take example, cancer drugs. Screen ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. What is going on? I have to read something. Mouse is going here and there.
No, sir, I was just reading in agenda, sir. Anything they have clarified. So I was just
Madam,
reading.
ಇಲ್ಲ. I am asking you. ನೀವು ಬಿಡಿ agenda ಬಿಡಿ.
Okay, sir.
Namkeen is 18 to 12% only when it is goods.
Okay, sir.
Duksagar Namkeen is not goods. Is there any doubt?
No doubt.
Ladies ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹುಡುಗರ ಏನಾಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದೇನಾ?
Sir, just another doubt, like all the restaurants should have this FSSAI license, no, sir?
They
So-
have a license, madam. They have a
Huh.
license as a food
Hmm.
business operator. Basically, it is about cleanliness of water, effluent management, then keeping the surroundings clean. And they will go and they are asked to go get a trade license from the corporation.
Hmm.
But there is no consumer grievance that will be handled. For example, in the bhujia, I found ants. In the jalebi, I found cockroach. All that will not happen unless you are under FSSAI. The see, because if you see FSSAI Act, it talks about presence of toxins in finished product or raw material. Somebody made purchased basin which had some toxin and made food item with it. Who is responsible? The person who manufactured the basin or the person who manufactured the edible item with the basin? That's the test.
Okay.
Please don't leave out Schedule 2 while reading this circular. That's my only submission.
Got it. Okay.
The moment Schedule 2 kicks in, all the circular vanishes. Full wiring ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಹೌದು sir.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತಪ್ಪ?
So that means in one simple, understanding, if we have to make it, there should not be any estoppel. We have told something and we should not be contrary to what we have already submitted to any other authority. Is that,
அப்படி சொல்லலாம், புய்ப்பமனு சொல்லலாம், நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி சொல்லலாம். But madam, but I am more than estoppel, I only want to say there should be no internal contradiction by the dealer.
okay.
That's only contradiction should be avoided.
Avoided. Okay. Right.
And that does not even need repetition. Correct, no?
Sir, again, this unfried, uncooked, I think again that might create some more issues, no, sir.
I don't even want to start that, madam.
I think this is continue from many years.
Therefore, before we start celebrating the clarity that is emerging, we only have to be mindful of the limited scope of the clarity that has emerged.
Okay, sir.
Now I tell you, somebody who is selling bhujia, he is going to get full ITC.
Yes, sir.
Will anti-profiteering apply for the transition stock here?
If it is carried from erstwhile regime, no, sir.
Transition stock.
Okay. You have to verify, no, sir.
See, actually what is happening is, under Legal Metrology Act, there is a circular that says the manufacturer can relabel product on the shelf. But if they are not able to relabel, they have to collect 18, pay 18 even after this clarification.
Okay. But past period they have said as is basis, na sir. So
No, as is basis is for only three things. If
okay.
any demand is raised, it will be dropped. If any demand is paid, no refund.
Hmm.
If no demand is raised, no demand will again be raised.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Clear,
there
no?
is not even a requirement of any notification under 11A for the past periods.
No, I don't think this will get any 11A note. Do you think it requires 11A?
No, sir, because as is basis, if let's say they've collected for a lesser amount of tax, 12.
No, I didn't quite follow.
Hmm.
Is this clarification itself as is basis? It is a reduction, so a notification is necessary under 11, not 11A, to change the classification from third schedule to second schedule.
Okay, sir, got it. Sir. Thank you.
Sir, but agenda is saying as is basis. Sir.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್?
Sir, that's what they are saying. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Correct. So therefore, they are reducing the rate of tax. And this clarification is prospective, means notification only is sufficient.
Hmm. Should I open the agenda, sir? It's
Madam,
fine.
ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್,
ಹಾ, okay,
ನೀವೇ
sir.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ.
So ಅದೇ
We have to move on. There are many items to cover, madam.
yes, sir. So shall I move forward, sir?
Yeah. I think everybody is noted. Anybody has any comments about that, we can pause. Otherwise, we can move on.
Move on, madam.
Yes, sir. We have already discussed on this cancer drugs, which the rate of tax is reduced from 12% to 5%. And even this will be prospective, sir, because
Yeah, you are right.
yeah. Then next is they have introduced a new concept of this metal scrap. Only I think it will be for this iron steel industries. So where they are trying to introduce on supply of this metal scrap by an unregistered person to a registered person, provided that the supplier shall take registration as and when it crosses the threshold limit, and the recipient who is liable to pay under RCM shall pay tax even if supply is under threshold. So a TDS of 2% will be applicable on supply of metal scrap by registered person in B2B supply. So
One
now,
minute.
yes,
Sorry,
yeah.
you please give your comment. I had some questions.
Yes, sir. Sir, one is I'm just trying to understand that this has been brought under 9.4 or 9.3. That is one thing we have to test here, sir. And second thing is they're also covering a person who is a unregistered person, and it also covers a person who is liable to be registered, not liable to be registered. So even if it is falling outside the definition of taxable person also. So can we, because they are saying RCM shall pay tax even if the supplier is under threshold. So even if his turnover is below 20 lakhs, then still there is a RCM implication. And they're trying to bring out a TDS of 2% will be applicable on supply of metal scrap by registered person. So why the concept of TDS has been brought here?
No,
sir?
one minute. Why TDS you understand how it is? It's a very complicated question.
Yeah.
Or it may have even a question whose answer may be unreliable.
Okay.
Now we only have to see if the supplier the recipient who is below threshold is liable to tax RCM.
No.
If the recipient is below threshold, if the recipient is unregistered, is RCM applicable?
No.
No, sir.
So is it 9.3 or 9.4?
9.4, sir.
9.4. Whether the supplier is below threshold or above threshold, RCM is applicable. What is rate of tax on metal scrap? 5%.
5%.
Inward is 5, outward is 5.
Yeah.
My estimation is there will be almost 0% compliance with this notification. You know why? If I have paid output tax, how difficult is it to say that output tax is RCM payment? This
Paid in
3.1, this 3.1D, 4A, 3, all that story will start. That's why that RCM chart is given. Just because my returns are wrong, does it mean liability can arise second time? Not possible. So therefore, this is going to be a very interesting thing, and I will be very happy if it comes under 9.3 instead of 9.4. But we will see how this comes about. Secondly, to introduce TDS, a new section is required in the Act
Yes, sir.
because
Yes.
51 is not sufficient for this.
Yes, sir. That was the
When
question.
will that happen? By 2026, if it happens, I'll be very happy. Because it requires 51A to be introduced. It should be between 51 and 52. Then all the consequent amendments in 122, 132, all those provisions, returns, making them applicable. So therefore, this TDS is a B2B for supply. Introduction of TDS is going to require a whole set of a whole new code needs to be crafted. So therefore, about this TDS, I'm not overly concerned for the time. I just pause this and then I'll let you comment.
Sir, 51 is covering the definition of government entities.
Government.
Yeah, so can they add even any other person, sir, in that, or it is only restricted to that which is defined? Can the power be given to add an additional registered person and
It's possible, but if you
possible,
see
no, sir?
51 non-compliant, there's a lot of lenience in non-compliance with 51.
Yes, sir.
But for private parties, that level of non-compliance, if they give, then ಈ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡು ತಿಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಡಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹೌದು.
So therefore, I think a very stringent set of provisions may be required to introduce TDS. But mind you, the moment TDS comes into private sector, it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time that there will be 200 TDS entries.
Yes, sir. I
It will
think
be like 1/17.
I think slowly they are trying to bring out this all scrap industry, sir. I think to because
Madam, not only scrap, 9.4 will come through TDS provision for everybody.
So more complicated like IT, sir, then.
Correct, Windows, right? If this amendment cannot come now, it can come only next year. So, 2026, sir.
Sir,
Uh,
also,
sir.
it cannot be in 51. It has to be in 51A, right?
I'm with you on this. But we have to see, Madam Eldange, whether they'll somehow find a way to squeeze it into 51. But the overall structural framework of 51 is suited only for government. It is not suited for private.
And sir, they should not specify as reverse charge mechanism, sir, or directly TDS ante ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. Like when they are bringing out, why they
No,
are
what we should do, we must ask Sujata Madam to
No,
talk
no.
to Madam. Madam, கொஞ்சம் பேசி பாருங்க. What you and I are what, Madam?
I know, sir.
Take a little Madam's help.
Sir, why did you say that there will be a difference if it is brought under 9.3 and not 9.4? Because even under 9.3, 30, I mean, they can amend the notification and they say that, they can insert in the notification and say that applicable recipient category is registered person only, no, sir?
No, I'll be very happy if it comes under 9.3 and not
Yeah.
under 9.4.
What difference will it make, sir?
Because you see, even if the supplier is under the threshold, is a language that you don't find anywhere else in 9.3. If this entry comes under 9.3, it will make all 9.3 subject to threshold under 22. See, advocate threshold is there because of entry 45. For others, there is no threshold benefit for 9.3. But if this comes with the 9.3 in this shape and form, then it will change the interpretation for all other entries.
Oh, okay, sir. So, reading RCM notification itself will be self-sufficient, need not visit the exemption notification.
Correct. Okay, madam. Continue, madam.
Yes, sir.
Bega bega taka 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 anta.
Yes, sir.
Madam, it's already 8:30.
No problem, sir. I'll just take it little fast. Then roof mounted package unit air conditioning, I think this is only for this specific category, and they have increased their, they have clarified the rate of tax at 28%. So should we discuss anything on that? I think it's may not. Then next is this car and motorcycle seats also, they have increased the rate of taxes from 18 it was under 18%, and they are planning to increase to 28%, and this will be applicable prospectively for all these car seats of motor cars in order to bring parity with the seats of motorcycles, which already is attract the rate of 28%. So I think they are trying to bring out uniform rate of taxes for this car and motorcycle seats.
What is the difference? Because it's fully creditable. By
Yeah,
changing the rate of tax, what change? What will it? What does it mean?
I think that because there has to be uniformity, sir, in the rate of
Yakama.
taxes for the car seats.
No,
Because
it makes no difference because ultimately Mercedes car is 50% tax.
yes, sir.
Whether seat was 18 or 28, what difference it makes? That Mercedes GST rate is collected early. But what is uniformity? ಅದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನದು?
They're saying parity with the motorcycles.
Please be very careful. The reasons given in the minutes may be only for our eyes and ears.
Yes.
It may not be the real reason.
Yes.
It could simply be revenue augmentation or acceleration of the time of supply. Collect it earlier.
Okay.
Go
So
on.
this is just to increase the rate of tax for all the seat manufacturers. That's all, the nothing
Ashte.
else.
Ashte, exactly correct. No real value addition. Always we have to be careful whenever input rates of taxes are increased, but not exceeding the finished product rate of tax. Then this becomes interesting. You have to be very careful. Okay, proceed.
Yes. Then next is life and health insurance. I think the discussion is going on, sir. That rate of tax should be reduced to 12%. As of now, it is
Right.
18%.
And now we'll take, anybody understands this insurance business a little bit? Any study has been done? See, in life insurance, there is a risk premium and a investment component. There is risk premium and an investment component because in all life insurance, there is a payout. Correct? Now, anybody never got payment from life insurance? Nobody. Everybody will get payment. 100% is the claim ratio in life insurance. So there is always a risk premium and a investment component. After the 53rd meeting, suddenly news reports started to emerge that, oh, insurance has become very costly, common man, Aam Aadmi, all of those things they started. But please consider, anybody has an idea what is the ITC that life insurance and health insurance companies take percentage wise?
Would not be much, no, sir. Predominantly employee base.
Sorry,
It's only infra.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's only infra and
Comparatively, they're like life insurance operates substantially with the agents.
correct, and they pay under RCM.
They have lakhs of agents, very few own staff, like our passport office. Only signing that passport officer is sitting, everything else is TCS. They are having overflow of ITC. If they were ever to be brought to 5 or 12%, it will become costly. So it has to be below the ITC limit. We'll see what the GOM does. They have to produce a report saying what is the life risk and what is the investment component, because on the investment activity, anyway, they are not paying any GST. Only on the risk premium. And risk premium, if suppose somebody pays 1 lakh premium per year, the risk premium is very small component. If you see all your money back policies, you see how much money you are getting back. What is that agent will give you that calculation. A very small component. I feel that there is a large scale misinformation created in media that entire 1 lakh is having 18,000 GST. It doesn't have 18,000 GST. Risk premium alone will have GST. Rest is investment. We keep these factors in mind, and we will come to know how they are going to balance. And at least from our study group, anyone is presenting about the GST implications, please be very careful not to go and repeat what you see under services in item number 1, saying yes, GOM is going to be conducted. We should give our input as to what is going to happen. Health insurance claim. Now, hospital, when they claim health insurance from the insurance company, instead of collecting from the patient family, is GST payable, not payable?
Technically, no, sir. In health.
In service tax, premium healthcare bill raised to insurance company was liable to service tax. Healthcare bill settled by the patient was not liable to GST. In hospital, what is roughly ITC? Any idea? Somebody was saying it is 11%.
More than that, sir.
No, madam knows more than that also. So therefore, what is the reduction that they can bring? If inverted tax structure happens in life and health insurance, it will increase the cost to the patient or to the customer. So some political maneuvering will be done to create a proper image in the market. Otherwise, not much tinkering is possible in these two sectors. Okay, madam, next.
Yes. Next is this transport of passengers by helicopters. So I think they're trying to reduce the rate of tax from this 5% if it is on seat share basis and to recognize for the past period on as is where basis. And if it is a charter services, then it is attracting 18%. So I think it is just clarifying the rate of taxes. So
The
I
seat
think-
sharing basis is only this Vaishnavi temple and other places only, no, helicopter.
This Kedarnath and all where we share it and pay the taxes. Earlier it was 12%, now they're reducing to 5%.
Yeah, but this Manasarovar and all is a chartered flight, so that would still continue. No?
So how we this charter flights, is it for that individual night? If it is on individual basis,
It's a limited group. Like, if it's a 40-seated capacity, only 20 would be taken because everybody want a window seat to witness it. So that way.
so can we not say as a transport of passengers by helicopters on seat share basis? Because
No, it's not helicopter. It's a flight, chartered flight.
flight you're talking, okay.
But this is charter of helicopter.
This is charter of
Oh,
helicopter
okay,
it's
okay,
talking.
okay.
Yeah. So that is the difference they're trying to bring out with that rate of taxes. Wherever it is seat share basis, it is 5%. Otherwise, if it is on individual basis, it is at 18% actually. So yes, I think in many wherever there is a dispute, everything they are bringing out as is where is basis. So I think that's
See,
Abhishek
because
will
the
have a
reason-
lot of cases surrounding this.
yeah, yes, sir.
See, this as is basis, I tell you what, is not resolving the dispute because is resolving the dispute which cannot be resolved legally
Yes, sir.
because it's a policy matter.
Yes,
But legal disputes, anyway, we have our namkin problem.
yeah. Then next is this to they have to clarify by way of circular saying that this flying training courses which are conducted by DGCA are exempt from levy of. I think this specific approach has been made by this FTOs now, sir, to give an
No, but
example.
why is this exemption? Why is clarification required?
There was an advance ruling saying that this
Yeah,
was
but-
not a part of
Application.
approved training institute.
So I think
Alaba, but if you see, this is education, no?
Correct, sir.
Resulting in a qualification degree recognized by law.
But that advanced ruling said it doesn't fit into that.
So DGCA will fit into that education institution.
DGCA will fit into, they have regulatory and other education functions.
Hmm.
Like ICAI,
Hmm.
ICAI provides education and regulatory function, giving membership number, disciplinary committee, all of those.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, sir. So it's a clarification. Now next is this supply of research and development services. So here they are trying to give an exemption for this research and development and services which are by a government entity or a research association, university, college, or any other institutions which will be notified under 35(1) of Income Tax Act under using this government or private grants actually. So I think again this was a issue, na sir. This they are trying to bring out in par with an income tax, sir. So to give an exemption to services by an government entity. So we have to refer the definition of government entity which is given in 12/17, right, sir?
You're right. No,
Yeah.
but then this covers other research association, university, college, or other institution.
Yeah. No, government.
Technically,
Yeah, sir.
Bangalore Study Group also can claim exemption.
But it will be like they are also trying to bring out here, even if you are getting a grant as a private grant or this government grant also. So something they are trying to bring out, na sir, to give an
See,
exemption.
all
Yeah.
colleges, universities
Hmm.
do private projects, do commercial projects.
Yes, sir.
That is the main thing.
Hmm.
Colleges and universities are doing various
Yes.
commercial projects. Suppose the computer science department professor knows Infosys, they will take 5 lakh rupees and say we are doing research in how to do data sort in Excel.
Hmm.
Then they'll say some AI, something we are doing. Whatever they do, we have to be careful. If a commercial project done by a university to raise funds, if it is covered by 35(1),
Hmm.
it will be exempt from GST on as is where is basis. So all universities have got notices.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Jain University, Joseph's University, Manipal University.
Yes,
So
sir.
therefore, if you fit yourself into this exemption, you're okay.
Hmm.
Colleges and universities can do commercial education, commercial project.
Hmm. Okay. Sir, one more doubt here, sir. They will be getting the grants like research. Just an example, sir. They'll be getting this government or private grants, and by using that grant, they will be doing a research project. So, are we treating this grant as a consideration, or how come this has been notified, sir? Because they are saying using government or private grants. So,
See what happens, grant accounting in India is it permits income approach or capital approach.
hmm,
Where you are following capital approach, it is not supply.
hmm,
But where you yourself are accounting it under income approach,
hmm,
then it has to be consideration.
hmm.
You are calling it grant because it is covered by, let us say, CSR fund or something of the grantor.
Hmm.
But the university receiving the money, they will account it as a grant under income approach. So it may not escape consideration.
Because I was reading capital subsidy or income subsidy, but I think for grant also we have to read, I think, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Next is this preferential location charges. So I think it is more or less they are trying to say that if it is paid along with this construction services, it is forming part of your construction service and as it is naturally bundled. But if we see in the notification, the gross amount charge, where specifically they have already stated that even this preferential location charges form part of that gross amount charge for that 45 lakhs affordable housing. So I think this is for other than affordable housing, they are trying to bring that it is naturally bundled and the tax rate should be the same tax rate what is applicable for construction services.
You're right.
Because
But then there was this, there are contrary ruling
yeah,
and some officer told me Shobha Developers is charging 18% on PLC.
yes,
And
sir.
they're a very big developer.
Yes, sir.
And if Shobha is doing it, then everybody else must. Sujata madam is telegram is saying, "Ayyo, go to madam. What are you saying, madam? Your telegram came and went away."
No, sir. I will ask later, sir. I just wanted to understand the past demands to be regularized means, whoever has got demand will have to pay, or as is where is means those who have not got, they don't have to, they will not be issued anymore. Is that what the meaning, sir?
Three things: those who have got demand, it will be dropped. Those who have paid the demand, no refund. Those who have not got the demand, no further demand.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah.
If
Thank
you have paid, you're a fool. If you have not paid, then we will see.
Okay. So it will be dropped, demand will be dropped. Those who
Hmm.
got that. Okay, right, sir.
So this preferential location charges, anyway, it was forming part of your construction service, no, sir? Because I know few of the entities because service tax was also, there was a separate entry for that. So I think they were following the similar practice in GST and they were trying to charge extra because it is nowhere in relation to construction service. It is an extra charges because of your location, it will be collected. So now they are just trying to bring out the concept of composite supply and trying to say that it is 5% if you are paying on construction service, then accordingly PLC is also 5%. So is it something like and they are trying to bring a clarification, sir? So for past period, if I paid 18% or anything, can I claim as a refund or something, sir? Because few of the builders have already paid, sir, to be very.
What if refund sigutta sigalva?
Sir, within if they have to pass again, that unjust enrichment issue will be there. But if they are
No refunds. No refunds. Demands will be dropped. Fresh demands will not be raised.
No, not that as is basis. I'm talking on PLC, where they are saying that the rate of tax will be whatever the rate of tax applicable for construction service, right, no, sir?
Correct.
So for earlier period, for few of the developers, 18% is already offered on a conservative basis on few of the expenses, few of the service charges, including preferential location charges. So here the issue is, can I claim the refund for the past period, saying that it should be at 5% and by passing on the differential of 18 minus 5 or 12 minus 5 to the customers and take it the benefits, sir?
No, I don't think so. If you paid, it's done.
It's already been okay, sir. So I think
Sir, one doubt.
yes.
Sir,
Yeah, is the 18% being done as a part of a tax planning? Because now after OC also there is generally no tax. Now if I start offering some amount of supply to GST and collected from the customers in the name of GST, so I will offset input tax credit which otherwise was not getting utilized. Is there anything which they found that this is beneficial and they're doing it, sir?
no, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
that that's the reason why people are paying. People are paying because officers are troubling them.
Okay.
And once they've collected it, again 76 can pitch in or something.
76
Not
may
paid.
apply or not is a different aspect. But if you see here, they're saying regularize it on as is basis. Just leave whatever has been done. We'll go forward.
Okay, sir. Sir, will it give, we are collecting other than preferential location charges also, no, sir, like legal charges, documentation charges, or any other facilitation charges. So I think we can use this principle and try to say that everything fits into that 5% and except that maintenance services.
Can we say that the principle here is new and different from composite supply, or is it only clarification for wherever there is doubt about PLC specifically?
It's a clarification, sir, no doubt on that. But I'm just trying to bring out that something they are clarifying in this way, like because
But
even
if you see legal charges, if you want the builder's advocate, you can take the services. But if you want to bring your advocate to do the documentation, it's okay, isn't it?
okay, sir.
But if you say BWSSB, water deposit, everything I will charge 18%, that will follow the principle, but
Hmm.
not other.
Okay, sir. Actually, strictly speaking, this doesn't have any implication with construction service, sir, because nowhere it is relating to construction.
No, no. Actually, if you see, PLC is everything to do with construction, I feel, because I'm constructing ground floor, I'm constructing 10th floor, I'm constructing garden view, I'm constructing highway view.
Yeah.
We are only presenting the total landed cost to the customer differently. Ultimately, it is all turnover of the builder.
Yeah,
This
but
is, see, to show that no, sir, our project is only below 10,000 rupees a square feet, but all the extras are another 2,500 rupees. You only selected 50th floor, therefore you have to pay 50 rupees for floor rise premium, etc., etc. These are all marketing things.
So even floor rise also will get covered in that, right?
Preferential location is floor rise, alva, madam.
Floor rise, I thought it's only a view-based.
Madam, then circular will have to keep on getting issued every meeting.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Hmm.
Anyway, right, sir. Next is this affiliation charges services. I think this is again there was a recent judgment also, no, sir, on this, and where they are trying to say that if it is given by this affiliation services by this private educational board, then it is taxable, and if it is given by this state board or central board, then it is exempted. And but they are bringing this exemption only if it is given to a government schools.
Now
So
we will see here. If this is an exemption given, who is the supplier who will claim this exemption? Is a Medical Council of India claiming exemption? Is SSLC board claiming exemption? You understand?
Yes, sir.
There is a Karnataka AR
Yeah.
that says Karnataka State Education Board is an education institution.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, by giving this clarification or by entertaining this clarification to claim exemption, we are admitting that it is a supply which is taxable to begin with. My reading of the provisions is that a university also provides education, college also provides education.
Yes.
I'll give you two examples. ICAI Noida provides education to CA students.
Yes, sir.
SIRP Chennai also gives education to students for GMCS. Can there be two suppliers for one supply? Very much possible. Example number 2. Hospital bills patient 1 lakh rupees. Healthcare service exempt from tax. Surgeon bills hospital 40,000 rupees. Exempt from tax. How can we say surgeon is providing healthcare to hospital? Surgeon is providing healthcare to patient, no? Health doctor and hospital are two suppliers providing one supply. That is why hospital circular says it is exempt from tax. How can two circulars contradict each other? So we have to go back and see what is education institution. Education institution means one who is providing a qualification recognized by law. Without the university giving the degree, what will the college achieve? Without the college imparting the curriculum, what will the university achieve? So therefore, where it is not taxable, see, affiliation fees is not paid 5 lakh rupees for ICSE. It is paid 50 rupees per student. If you have more students, more affiliation fees. Less students, less affiliation fee. This is not like liquor license. Whether you sell liquor or not, you have to take a license. This is affiliation fee. How many students you are having every batch? Why affiliation fees is required? Can we say that payment made by college to university is inward supplied to college? College does not require every year affiliation fees because they're already giving BCom BA degree. This is towards providing education services by the university for every single student. If you have 833 students, you have 833 into 50. 2 students got transferred to foreign country. Now next year they will pay 831 into 550 rupees.
Hmm.
So we have to recognize whether this is exempt or it is clarified that they won't demand tax in respect of government schools, etc. All of this,
Hmm.
see, this is completely illegal, isn't it? To say
Yes,
that
sir.
it is exempt and prospectively only exempt.
Yeah.
So I feel we have to first understand where it is exempt, whether it was taxable to begin with. We'll see the clarification when it comes out, but the construct of this clarification seems to be that they are forcing everybody to accept this is taxable. This is like corporate guarantee circular.
Hmm.
There is no supply itself. Why clarification? Just because there is clarification, we cannot accept there is supply.
Sir, I think they are trying to give a different treatment to the universities and different treatment to this boards. This, like for example, KEA, we are having Karnataka Examination Board. If those boards are giving and the clarification is made for those boards that they are educational institution only for the purpose of conduct of examination to the students. So
we are not talking about those. Those are like National Testing Agency.
yeah, National Testing
That is
Agency.
anyway exempt under 66B.
Yes,
But
sir.
I'm saying these are covered by 66A.
Okay, you are taking.
Because for affiliation, what are they giving?
Huh.
Nothing. For exam, they're charging separately. For ID card, they're charging separately. For convocation, they're charging separately. Then what they're giving for affiliation? Nothing but education.
Okay. And I have to check why only up to 21. I have to just check that amendment also. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Next. Shall we proceed, sir?
Right.
Next is this to give an exemption for this foreign airlines company from a related person or any of its establishment outside India when it is made without consideration to regularize for past period. I think this is basically there was an issue with this place of supply, sir, on this import of services because there is no consideration which is paid between foreign airline and its establishment in India. So they are saying that there is no requirement to treat it as an import of services for payment of taxes under RCM.
What is so special about airlines and what is ordinary about mining companies?
Here, the foreign airline is located outside India, so they are trying to say that even though they are related, but if it is made without consideration, because for import of services, the definition says that the place of supply should be outside India.
Place of supply should be inside India. For import of services.
Sorry, for import of services, it is inside India. So is it for that purpose they brought this change, sir?
They say people will say that this is not proper to say like this, but this is suitcase clarification. This is only for airlines. 10,000 crores they raised demand.
Correct.
That circular 210 was not applicable for airlines.
Yes,
now
sir.
mining companies will come. Foreign mining company who has got a license to mine iron ore, bauxite, all of those things, they will come. They say for us also you give.
Yeah.
They can't form a subsidiary company. They have to form a permanent establishment or a branch office in India. Why this will not apply to all permanent establishments in India? What is special about airline?
Correct.
This will also come in for challenge. Either you give this for everybody. So basically you're saying you delete entry number 4 in schedule 1. Or you give or do discrimination between airline branch office and other branch office in India.
I think it will get challenged now also, sir, based on Article 19. Can it get challenged, sir? Because they are giving this specific exemption only to airline as you are talking.
Same Vijay sir's comment. Perfect.
What is that?
No, Vijay sir's comment about mining companies going to council asking Namgu Kodi anta.
Even they have to prepare a suitcase, sir. Now, nothing.
Yes, sir.
And sir, it is on one hand it is talking related person, on second hand it is talking when made without consideration. So again, valuation tools also will be a challenge to sir.
You're right.
Yeah. Now next is this renting of commercial property, sir. I think this was one more revenue leakage which was happening around, and there are a lot of amendments which are made from last 2-3 years. Sorry, last year. Bringing this RCM when the property is residential used for commercial purpose, all that. And now they are trying to bring out that even if this commercial property is rented, given on rent to a registered person, then that is also will get covered under RCM. So this is a pure case of 9(4). So from this, I think this will be a prospective, and they will, so I think wherever we are paying this rental to our landlord, and many times this rental is getting divided among family members. So all that is happening around. So I think to bring out that more revenue on that, they are trying to bring out this 9(4) surrender.
Somebody was posting about this. Composition taxpayers, unregistered persons. Now,
What's
if you see, if this is under 9(4),
Hmm.
if it's under 9(4), whether this can unregistered persons avail commercial property when they're below threshold and not pay RCM? Composition taxpayers. So basically, this is going to kill composition. All of them are under RCM, are operating commercial places. Almost all the landlords are not paying tax.
Yes, sir.
If this comes under RCM, composition is going to become costly. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
So all composition should get out of composition because of this.
Sir, can they bring out saying that even though if it is, they are saying renting by an unregistered person to a registered person, so indirectly they are trying to bring all 9(4) under, na, sir? Wherever.
No, but is it 9(4)? Like the previous discussion we had.
Yeah,
is it
similarly.
we have to see.
Yes, sir. You have to see whether it is 9(3) or 9(4). Yeah, next is ancillary or intermediate services which are provided by GTA. I think in few of the cases we see that GTA will enter into a contract with the consignor or consignee stating that I will take it as a supply, composite supply, including your transportation, all your loading, unloading, storing, all that transshipment. So all these things we have seen in few of the contracts where they enter and they call themselves as a transporter services. So the issue was whether the rate of tax of GTA should be applicable or whether the this respective tax rate should be applicable for the individual services. Because in few of the cases, I have seen that GTA are charging 5% only on freight charges, and other charges they were charging 18%. So I think this will bring a more clarification to treat it as a composite supply, and they will be paying only at 5% and not, or whatever the rate applicable to the principal supply, either at 12% or 5%. And accordingly, it is forming part of composite. But if they have separate invoice separately, so this is something creating a doubt, sir, that if the services are not given as a package services and individually, if they are entering into a different contract and different invoices, then it is not treated as a composite supply. So again, there is a thin line of difference, na, sir, because your contract can be your individual, your invoice should not decide your taxation, right, na, sir?
You're right, madam.
Yeah, so that is the thing we have to look into this. And anybody has anything on this? Like, otherwise I'll just proceed on that. So now this RCM, I think RCM will increase, na, sir, because if it is a composite, the whole amount will be, so the RCM implication is going to increase after this amendment. Yeah. Then next is this to regularize the GST liability for this past period prior to 1/10/2021, where the film distributor or sub-distributor act on principal basis to acquire and distribute films. So I think there was a clarification under the service tax law, sir, but I think that was in that which was that in JD circular itself, they have clarified on this film distributor, sub-distributor. But similarly in GST also, they are just trying to bring out up to 1/10/2021. So I'm not able to recall what has the amendment after 1/10/2021, sir.
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ madam.
Notebook. I think I'll just see this and I'll get into that. I'll just share this. Anybody has anything to say on this? This film distributor? Okay, I will just see that later. Then next is this to exempt the supply of services like application fees for providing electricity connection, rental charges, testing fee. I think we all are aware that in 12/17 there is an exemption for transmission and distribution of electricity by transmission and distribution utilities to their customers. So they were, in addition to these charges, they were also collecting additional charges like application fees for giving a connection, rental charges for that electricity meters, labor charges for shifting these meters. So all these were also collected in addition to the supply of this electricity. So they are just trying to say that even those charges become part of a composite supply. So is that the thing, now, sir? Anything else?
That's all.
Yeah. Then next is yeah, this is more or less what we have discussed from Finance Act 2024. Basically, they are trying to incorporate by inserting a rule 164 in this CGST rules, along with this specific provision for giving this amnesty scheme for 73 for the period 17 to 2020. Most of us are aware on that. So only now they are going to bring out a specific rules and forms for waiver of interest or penalty. Again, the issue still remains the open in the case where the tax is already paid and interest and penalty is not yet paid. Whether those cases get covered, I think we have to wait and see, because I was trying to read agenda. It is still not giving a clarity on that aspect also. So that is a one aspect which is most of us are worried on that. And the second also, it says that the date, because the date was not notified in this Finance Act 128. So I think now they are notifying the date as 1st November to 31st March 2025 on the date before which the payment of tax should be made by the registered person to avail the benefit. So I think they are come out with prior to November 1st, whichever the orders are there under 73, those will get covered under 128A, and they will they are going to issue various clarifications to understand the issues for availment of waiver of interest or penalty. And 146, that's what which we have read.
Order, madam. Not just the orders, no, even the demands and the notices as well, no?
Yeah. Anyway, 128 is covering all this demand notice under 73, all these orders. Yeah, that is there. I'm just trying to bring out here is, in case either the notice or the order is where already the taxes are paid totally and you have not yet paid interest and penalty, whether those cases is going to get covered, that is still an open issue. That is nowhere I was able to read. So we have to wait, I think. Then we'll get a better clarity on this. Because agenda also has not spoken on that aspect.
I think that is a question which everybody is keen to know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is, I think they should bring out, if they really want to give the benefit of the scheme, they should even bring that even though if you are paid under protest or even the taxes are paid, the benefit still should be given. So
And whatever, in the spirit of this whole thing, yeah.
correct. And one more issue we are having here is like, sir, already the appeal is filed under 74 and we are awaiting for the hearing. And basically the grounds are basically it is 2A, 2B, 3B matching concept is there. So it doesn't fit into the case of 74, it fit into the case of 73. So even if the appeal is pending today and if we get prior to 1st November, then I think we can still take the benefit of 73. Right, Mr. Or the date.
Even if it comes after 1st November also you can take, no? What's bothering you?
Because it says notified with effect from 1/11, they are saying. I think for payment
Correct.
they are taking up to 30.
Correct.
Yeah. Then what is the relevance of this 1/11 then?
Madam, that
No,
is only
this-
to notify the provision, section
Provision, bringing the
128A.
effect. Yeah,
To bring it to effect from 1/11. That is what they're trying to say. They
That's
are
all.
asking the government not to take it forward. Because sometime they might notify somewhere in December or January also. They are saying don't do that, do it from 1st November. They are insisting all the state governments.
Okay,
Even
so
after the appellate order, we'll get 3 months time to make the payment. Even that March deadline is crossed, we'll get 3 months time to make the payment.
no, but they say payment should be made prior to 31st March 2025. So I
That is
think it
general
will
now,
be
madam.
up
That is
to
general. In
yeah.
case of appeal, we will get 3 more months. No, if 75(2) is invoked
Yeah,
and it is get converted to 73,
yeah.
then we'll get 3 more months. For
But
example, in
No,
April,
my lord sir,
December
that is
only,
only in cases where the department files an appeal. What 3 months you're talking about is when the department files an appeal and then you get an order. After that, you get 3 months, not for the taxpayers or the
correct.
registered persons.
now 75(2) cases.
It is, I think, up to max December it should be like order if it has to be passed. If the payment, because it specifically says that payment has to be made prior to 31st 2025. So at least the order should be passed prior to that. And payment should also be made prior to that. So possibly that even your order can be in March and payment can be made still in March. But I don't think so you will get additional 3 months for 75(2). It is only that 3 months is brought only to provision 2 and not for provision 1 in 128A, where the department finds out some liability and where you are liable to pay against a department appeal.
And also, if we think like 75(2) relief, we get at the second appeal stage. So this is gone then.
Gone, actually. So this is purely 73. So you have to try to push. And again, this is not issue based. This will be again an order based. So all that issues is that might
Too
be.
optimistic to say in the second appeal is like January, the tribunal forms and matter being heard and disposed of.
No, but consider this, that all these dates can always be extended based on representation that you only started the tribunal very late. Please give me relief. I will get 75(2) relief in tribunal and create a exception here.
So it will be difficult, na, sir, like because because again then the whole purpose of this benefit what they are trying to bring out for that specific period will go, na, sir.
No, visualize it
No,
from this point of
128
view.
can, yeah.
Sorry, sir. Please finish.
No, no. 128A can have another next year extension only for the second appeal matters for this. So that is, anything is possible, no, madam.
So it cannot keep hanging, na, sir, some scheme if it is
No, madam.
coming.
See,
Ah.
if they can say that on the first day tribunal of forming, all 75(2) appeals have to be heard first on priority.
Okay.
Suppose they form in December. Within 1 week, they must dispose of all 75(2) relief cases so that they can fit within 128A. Otherwise, see, all those things are possible. So I don't think we should rule out 75(2) in second appeal and still make it within the time of March.
Sir, how we know that it is 75(2) case, na, sir? Only once you argue, we get to know, sir.
They will argue, cases have to be taken up, and whether they will allow if it's audit based, if it's audit based finding and not intelligence based finding, if it's intelligence based finding covering only audit points, isn't it?
Okay.
And then you can imagine all the high court decisions that will follow saying that government wrongly invoked 74 and denied me 128A, etc., that will come out.
Yes.
Second proviso to 128A includes first proviso also. Even first proviso 75(2) cases will get additional 3 months.
I'll just check that 1 second.
Yeah, in the second proviso, they said even in case of first proviso, that is 75(2) cases, we'll get additional 3 months time.
So additional 3 months after end of March, huh?
No, whenever that 75(2) order is passed, from that time 3 months will get.
Oh, okay. So even it is like 2 years after later also.
Yes, I think.
So the 3 months will be from the date of the second appellate order.
From the date of order, 3 months.
So So to that extent, this scheme has a varying time span.
Yeah, only in case 75-2 and department appeals, we will have different time.
Mm, mm, mm.
Then again, it will it will be hanging. We don't know then, because there should be some time limit to operate this scheme. It cannot be like open-ended.
No, it is like a specific time limit from a cutoff point. Like, yeah, and
They
it's
want to give for all 73 cases, they want to give, but some places where they issued 74 notices. So wherever that get converted into this thing, then there is a time limit of 3 months from the date of order.
Anybody has anything to say on this?
Nothing, madam.
Yeah.
so just one point here. Let's say the demand is taken up on 74, then SSC has put 75 to ground. At the second appeal stage, 75 to relief is received, and also the demand gets lowered. So there is a benefit under 128 to pay that lowered amount of tax without interest and penalty, right?
We have to wait.
True.
Yeah, possible, but the issue is period. Till what time? I think the objective is to reduce litigation at appellate stage. They brought this before appellate tribunal, na, sir, so that all litigation get reduced. And somewhere I was reading that even they are trying to bring out for this e-way bill matters also this kind of scheme. So on back end, they're working on those issues also. So we have to wait and see. But as on date, I don't know. We have to, no answer as of now till what time they will bring out, whether after tribunal is formed and if the benefit of 75-2 is given, whether still this amnesty scheme is applicable. I have my own doubt. But anyway, we'll wait and see how it is going to get operated.
Please continue, madam.
Yeah. Next is they are bringing out a mechanism for implementation of this newly inserted 16.5 and 6, which was discussed in our last session also. One is that giving an extension time limit up to November 21 for the 16.4 time limit, and subject to that, return is filed up to November 21. So they are just trying to bring out giving a effect to a retrospectively, because so they are trying to give the 16.5 operation effect, 16.5 as well as 16.6 effective from 1/7/2017. So they are trying to notify it at retrospective basis. And also they brought a new concept of rectification, but I don't know, can they notify under 148? That was one more thing I was just trying to bring out. This is because there is something called as rectification section is there already in 161. And they are also trying to bring out under 148, which is giving a special, where based on the recommendation of the GST Council, they can give a special procedure. And here, whoever the person who has applied, where the issue is pending before the tribunal, or where it is pending in the adjudication pertaining to the issue of 16.4, the rectification application can be filed. I think even if it is pending before revision authority also, the rectification can be filed confirming wherever there is a demand for wrong availment of ITC on account of 16.4. But where input tax credit is now available based on 16.5 and 16.6, or all this they have stated. So I think it is just trying to bring out application should be made in that order, and only to that extent the effect will be given under 16.5 and 16.6.
And what about recovery already made? Because
so-
appeal was not filed.
Yeah, appeal was not filed, and recovery is made because again they have stated, na, sir, where tax is already paid, and
Correct. At
So no
146.
refund, yeah, no refund can be given. So I think that is one thing there. So
So orders must be passed, appeals not filed, but somehow recovery not done.
yes, then you can
What
take.
is this?
So paid includes recovered as well, sir. So
Yeah.
yeah, so paid includes. Oh.
So, but if it is still in bank attachment stage, still you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is paid. Okay. And 148 is will it fall under 148 only, sir? Because it is giving the administration power. So will this come under that, sir? Actually, because
See, 148 is a power to give special dispensation to registered persons.
correct.
And since this is favorable to SSC, even if they are not using the section lawfully, who will question?
I know it is beneficial, so definitely they'll not challenge, but just academically, I was just trying to see whether it fit into that actually. Because it is only procedure based for registration, returns, taxes, and administration.
Yeah, I agree with you. It
Yeah.
doesn't satisfy.
Yeah. So that is a 1 point. Yeah. So next is yeah. Anything else here, or we'll proceed then?
Proceed.
Then this is and there's an amendment in Rule 89 and 96. I think this issue is there from last 5-6 years, where you have imported the goods and availed the benefit of this advance authorization and EPCC scheme, and you have taken the benefit of refund wherever the exports are made with payment of taxes. And based then again later on you have made a payment of taxes on those inward supply. So I think they are trying to bring out a clarity on that, saying that this refund, this 89(4)A and 89(4)B, which was imposed in 96 subsection 10, because of that restriction, there was a certain benefits which were not taking, or I think there was a flaw in the there was no specific procedure which was specified. So they were referring to Rule 89 and the benefit of refund or rebate was availed. So I think that's the reason, sir, this amendment has been brought out. So they are just trying to bring out in the form of clarity, saying that even though they have violated 9610, but if they regularize, then they still are falling within that benefit, and they can only, it is for regularization, which they have done initially, sir, till 2018 something.
No,
Correct.
many have paid off that advance authorization benefit. It is worth taking the refund, which is higher, because there are domestic purchases.
Yes.
You can't lose the ITC of the domestic purchases.
So they were bringing unutilized ITC because that was the thing which was not missing earlier. So now they are bringing a clarity, saying that only to the extent of unutilized ITC, because earlier it was referred as only ITC. Sir, is my reading correct, sir, on this aspect?
See, we'll take one by one, 96, 10, 89, 4A, 4B. I think all the subject matter experts
Yeah.
are on the call.
Yes.
If we take 96, 10 itself, we have 86, 4B that is inserted, where PMT 03A procedure is also inserted, which is also not acceptable because they're asking for interest. What they're saying is, give me the refund and leave it as it is. So, to say that they will ask you to restore back the benefit, what will EOUs do? You understand?
Yeah.
License holders can repay. What will EOUs do? So therefore, one part they're trying to resolve, saying take back the benefit, this is, so that at least some part of the writ petitions pending everywhere will get addressed. But to say that 96, 10, 18 and 4A, 4B will be deleted prospectively, it changes so many things for everybody.
Yes, sir.
There are people who have developed expertise in 18 and 4A calculation. So the implications of this in each of these three cases we have to go into to find out which are the cases that will not get covered and which are the cases which will come within the operation. Any refund? Anyone who has deep understanding of refund, you want to comment on something that you can see straight away on the face of this press release itself?
So what is meant by prospective omissions?
What do you think?
Because omission means it doesn't exist.
Correct. So therefore, prospectively, they are going to delete this.
Does it mean that even for the past cases where refund was applied under the normal route and where there has been a demand saying that you should have applied under 89 4A or 4B, all that will be dropped?
You think so, madam?
That doesn't seem to be the intention, because unlike other amendments where they are specifically mentioning that it will be on as is where is basis, there is no such mention here.
I agree with you.
So now the definition of this net ITC itself will change, na, sir, for this.
It will be. Can you
Yeah.
imagine, madam, what all is
I'm
going to
just
tell you?
thinking, yeah, it will be huge.
We need seminar.
Yeah. It's a revamp. Yes, sir. So I think we'll wait for that further, and a draft of that clarification I was reading in that agenda, sir, on this, and they are trying to bring out saying that it is just to regularize wherever the issue because of this drafting error. So they're just trying to regularize by issuing a circular, so that department can stop litigating on this aspect.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll move forward now. Next is this, they are trying to bring out a clarification for this place of supply. In the case of this advertisement services, which are given by this Indian advertising companies to this foreign entities. So they are just trying to say that whether it fits into the performance-based services, or is it fitting into the recipient-based services, or is it fitting into an intermediary services. So there were different aspects to analyze on this. So I think they are just trying to say that if the foreign entity is located outside India and if the Indian company is giving an advertising services to foreign entities, then how the place of supply should be tested. Is it a recipient based or is it a performance based? So it cannot be performance based because it is not something where the foreign entity is coming to India and availing these services. So it is a recipient-based service, even though it is enjoyed by the customers of foreign entities or whoever the recipient who might be located any part, but still the services are given to a foreign entity. So it is not performance-based also. And the third part is intermediary service, sir. I think they were testing to say that whether this advertising company, if they are giving a space, so they are acting as an intermediary between the space company and this foreign entity to give and to borrow that space and to give it to a foreign entity, then the place of supply will be a location supply. So I think there was a various interpretation to understand the place of supply. So I think they will bring out based on recipient-based services so that they can enjoy that export benefits. If not, then it will be a intermediary service, depending upon the contracts with the foreign entities and other terms of services.
Will it impact OIDR, madam?
That was my next question, sir. That was, I was just trying to understand whether section 14 will come into picture here. Because it is still, I was just trying to read that definition of OIDR, and it is, but nowhere in that agent also I was trying to read, sir, they are not referred anything on OIDR services. So I think this cloud computing and data hosting might get covered in OID as well, sir, not this advertising,
Right.
sir. Yeah. So that is a one part. And then next is this. Yeah.
Even the OIDR will get covered and they will not be intermediary, because even there, they are also selling principal to principal basis. They buy the inventory, they keep it, and they again kind of resell it. So OIDR will also not be an intermediary. It will follow into the same route of export.
Yeah. Then, so I think that is what is flagged for advertising services and this data hosting services. Now, next is this regarding this availability of ITC on demo vehicles by dealers of this. I think again, we had a lot of rulings and discussion on this demo vehicle, which is always a issue, whether the input tax credit is eligible on that demo vehicles, which is used only for demo purposes. And later on, if it is sold, then whether the ITC is eligible or not. So they are trying to clarify that ITC is eligible even on those demo vehicles which are used for demo purposes. And if it is resold at a later point of time. Right?
Correct. And it goes against all the advanced rulings.
Yeah.
So many people did not take credit.
Correct. So that is the one thing. And then next is, I think this will also be eye-opening for many of the entities where they are trying to bring out B2C e-invoicing. We still have a lot of technical issues for even in this case of B2B e-invoicing, but still, and though there are some sectors which are exempted from this e-invoicing in the case of B2B, but now they are trying to bring out B2C invoicing, and they're trying to work on pilot basis for few of the entities and trying to see how benefit it is. But I think it will open a lot of procedures for this.
Yeah. All adjustments gone.
Yeah.
And I'm more concerned about, the interception part, even for the B2C, the moment it is beyond 50,000, if there is no e-invoice, more e-way cases will come up because of this B2C invoicing.
Correct. And now even in this e-way bill, if e-invoice is not there, they are saying that it is not.
We can see a lot of debit notes and credit notes outside 34, section 34.
That's why simultaneously they brought invoice management also.
Yeah, that is there. But from, this becomes like debit notes, credit notes becomes a mode of rectifying online errors.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sir, but why they are trying to bring out B2C, sir? How it will impact? Anyway, no ITC, na, sir. So why they
No,
are?
there are news reports, no, saying that B2C sales, not everything is reported. I think that what's that software? Paid Puja. That
Paid
software is
Puja.
giving number 2 books also. Ante. Very
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
software.
I saw, sir. I was looking at software.
You
Now
can do
this,
number 1 books, number 2 books, number
yeah.
3, everything you can do. So therefore, all cash payments, number 2, all Google Pay, number 1.
That's what, sir. It is, and very clearly it is only like access also is given very restricted. Like if anybody else also wants to see, they cannot see. All that is there. So it is something like that. Anyway, so we have to wait and see, sir, how it is going to get operated. As of now, they are trying to work out on pilot basis.
So all this conversion of table 7 entries to table 4 entries all gone.
Yeah. And anyway,
No,
they
but
are
I
trying.
think this will not solve anything. People will not follow e-invoicing.
But sir, it can add up the e-way bill issues, no, sir?
It has to be
If it-
B2C goods.
Okay. Services, yeah.
B2C
True.
goods.
Yeah. And again, below 50,000 threshold or counter delivery, those things will get eliminated. But
Sir, again, they will bring out to a large industry only, sir, this B2C. They may not go to again small sectors. So
But
something.
if they focus on evasion prone, it will be jewelry. Rate of tax is very less there. Evasion prone, where it's difficult to implement, will be where high rate of tax is there. It's very difficult to implement there.
Now all this real estate will get covered now. All this because they were enjoying all this B2C.
No, B2C, if they introduce it for services like construction,
Hmm.
it's easy for them to raise invoices
Hmm.
because they send a demand note,
Correct.
then they will raise invoice. All these things. I think B2C
Yeah.
e-invoicing is long way away.
Yeah.
Highlight
And
they
there's,
can do.
yes, sir.
First you cut the ribbon, take photos, then
Hmm.
you construct the bridge.
And they're saying e-invoicing in retail. So we have to see how they are going to bring out this. Yeah.
Because if the internet doesn't work, then the entire business they have to stop in the retail.
And Wi-Fi will not work when department comes for test purchase.
Yeah. So this is a one thing. We have time. We'll go through fast on this another 10 minutes on this invoice management systems. And basically, I was just trying to read the advisory, and we are also going to see that they are bringing out a new floor in this GST return architecture by adding this reverse charge ledger or input tax credit reclaim ledger and invoice management. So I think this RCM ledger is to give the benefit of RCM where we are able to raise a self invoice and make a payment and take the credit of that for the past periods. And
Ultimately, they want to bring that a transactional summary item, I mean, line item level summary for the lump sum figures.
correct.
To so the grounds what we generally take, that summary values and all that, probably to curtail that and bring in a individual transaction level backing to the summary values. They're bringing this, looks like that.
More transparent or more visible.
So suppose I don't follow this IMS and let the system do default selection.
Deemed acceptance.
Exactly, Venu. I agree with you. See, IMS, if I take any affirmative action, accepting, rejecting, invoice, credit note, debit note, then I'm become responsible for the consequent actions. If they automatically accept certain things by the system by default, then I can still not be held answerable for what the system has accepted. Unlike TDS, TCS, where I accept it, it will come into cash ledger. Tomorrow I have to answer, why did you accept it if it is not your turnover?
Sir, but when it is bringing out a condition saying that either you do the action on that accept, reject, or pending, or it is implied, na, sir. Either it should be.
I didn't do anything. If your system, you don't make a rule saying if you did not say no, then boy has accepted girl.
Maunam sammati lakshana.
Sir, sir, otherwise it will be open-ended, na, sir. Some action has to be taken. If no action, then it is deemed that it is accepted.
No, better that the system deems something. Better system. Correct, madam. We are going back to 1, 2, 3, but in a different name and shape. But anyway, incidentally, this is also called 2, no?
Yeah, it's a.
Somebody was saying it should be called 2C, but this is called GSTR 2.
Sir, for small taxpayers, I don't think they are interested in rejection, deemed acceptance. They don't even know. Like unnecessarily will be complicating them by telling what is 1A. They are not bothered also.
Correct. We don't want to know.
They don't want to know. Even for, practically I'm speaking for my staff also, I'm just thinking, should I teach them about 1A, all these? They can't understand also. It's difficult. I'm not saying they can't understand. It is unnecessarily will be complicating them.
Correct.
Sir, is it not indirectly reducing the litigation, sir? Because we are able to see for the past period, there is so many reconciliation issues we are finding either between table 8A of 9, GSTR 3B, 2B, 1.
Madam, nobody's data is perfect, madam.
I know,
So
I understand that. I'm just trying to bring, see, there will be some reason to bring out some system. I know they are not successful in GSTR 1, 2, 3. I understand 3B itself. They are trying to give a color of 3, and in 2, they are trying to bring out all this. But I'm just trying to say something artificially they are bringing out. But is it not that to reduce that reconciliation issues, which is quite time consuming and a lot of unnecessary reconciliation is taken place, sir. So I think something they are trying to bring a
Step by step they started. 4B2 reclaim 4D1 they started. Again,
Yeah.
that is summary values.
yes.
Now they brought this ITC reclaim separate one and RCM separate one. Now to back it with the underlying individual transactions, they're trying to bring this.
Yes. Something they couldn't do 1, 2, 3. So I think
So my question is here, see, all these while we were reporting in 3B, 4A5 auto-populated 2B, 4B, for 4C is our number and 4B2 is balancing figure. Now with IMS, since it is all deemed acceptance, then can I still put in 4B2? Or will it be like, to take an action later, I will have to, keep it pending. So is it like a replacement to reporting in 4B2 is my question here. I mean, I was wondering from that perspective.
see 4B2 will be your decision, Annapurna. You have to take a decision whether it fits into 4B2 or not.
No, because all temporary, let's take an example where my right has not yet accrued. I haven't received the goods. So all this while, since because of that circular 170 and all of that stuff, I used to take it in 2B, 4A5 and then report in 4B2 for a future claim. Once I reclaim it, I report in 4D1. Correct, Alva? Now with this IMS, because there is that option of keep pending, if I don't do that, it will become deemed acceptance. Will I still be allowed to put it under 4B2? So for
No,
a
you
right
can
which
put
is
it
not
under 4B2. That is not stopped. That process would still continue. But if you
so
click it on keep pending, it will neither come to 4A5 and nor 4B2.
true. So whenever I accept it in future, at that time it will flow to that particular month's 2B.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within the time limit.
So for a goods yet to be received invoice, I have two options to do. One,
keep pending.
Go accept it and then report in 4B2, or keep it pending and then once you get it next, claim it.
Correct.
Okay.
This option only for some time. Once everybody is get used to it, then they will block all the individual item. Only if you select the invoices, then figure system will only determine.
Yeah. But the challenge will be of erroneous selections. Oh, that is too much to handle, especially if it is voluminous.
Yes. And transaction wise, it has to be accepted or rejected.
Exactly. So evaluating it.
Because
Man.
all of us make mistakes according to our respective capabilities.
I mean, it is so demotivating. I mean, it is really demotivating to continue compliance practice with all these new things coming. More reason for us to get into litigation and other, consultation related assignments than this compliance. It's going to be too hectic and something that cannot be accomplished to the satisfaction if this is the level of sophistication that is expected. So I was also thinking another aspect to this invoice management system. Maybe Venu sir also can add it because he has some special access to all those documents with GST and cents. So Venu sir, I was just wondering.
Only question, Venu sir, when you're answering, please also answer whether this is your idea.
Kartrutva Venu sir dida. So Venu sir, like let's say I have put in an amount of, as a supplier, I've uploaded in my GSTR1 some 10 lakhs ITC, which ought to have been 1 lakh. Now my recipient accepted it, claimed it, utilized it. So then next month I amend it to 1 lakh. So that will have a reduced ITC for the subsequent 2B. Now he reduces it or utilizes his ITC and reverses it, whatever, or pays it through cash. So, I mean, definitely the way these things are getting monitored, then interest notices will trigger based on these individual transaction grip, which system will populate, isn't it, Venu sir?
Correct.
Hmm?
Correct.
So accepting the wrong invoice will have a interest repercussion which is traceable by the system.
Yeah.
Then what happens to 88B?
Sir, I think DRC 01B, 1C, all will become redundant after 2 years.
Ala 7512 ಅಲ್ಲಿ they can start direct recovery based on this because it's an interest which is system can calculate itself
Right.
once individual transaction tracking happens.
Yeah.
No, but if I accept a wrong invoice,
Huh.
still somebody needs to examine the computation of interest based on 88B, no?
Yeah, if I
I
have
have
reversed
utilized,
using,
not utilized, all these things.
yeah. But again, system will have a trace of it all as well, no, sir? If
But then
functionalities are developed,
system can only provide data.
Correct.
If system starts doing adjudication, basically it is saying there's no need for reply from party. Why 88C, D, 142B are all there is because there is a step where somebody can give a reply, whether he agrees or not. And only 88C goes to 79. 88D still goes to 73, 74.
yes, sir. So 13B, they're presently included in 88C. Once this functionality develops and system is able to calculate interest on erroneous claims, so will that also be included in 88C in future? I mean, possibilities are just a possibility.
We'll have one more study discussion.
Yes, sir.
And sir, somewhere I was reading that even if it is like 16 beyond time limit credit or place of supply is not correct, automatically the system itself will restrict that credit. So I think somewhere the system itself is trying to bring out when they are managing.
Yeah, in 2B that is coming, no? 4B2 it will populate, no?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So,
But today it is all like a reference numbers which can be overridden by the taxpayer.
correct.
But not sure we going forward, once this IMS and all, if they make it mandatory instead of optional, all that will go off then. It like one gets auto-populated in 3B, 2B also gets a freezed number. So maybe that is where the department is looking at. Could be. We'll have to see how it progresses.
Yeah. And they're asking you to give that opening balance by 31st October 2024 on this. So I think again that reworking is required for all of us to give the opening balance for this invoice management, right? So so again, one more task is there, how to compute that opening balance till what date?
Can't we say take the existing closing balances? I mean, if at all we have given opening balances for the existing thing correctly, and whatever is coming in the closing, probably that could be taken up.
Madam, this opening balance, closing balance, where are you seeing, madam?
One second, I'm opening that. One second.
Sir, ಇವಾಗ 3 ledgers ಇದೆ sir.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅದಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಈ IMS ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. You show me study material.
Madam has a privileged document. ಅದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಹಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಯಾವ್ದು ಸರ್?
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹತ್ರ privileged document ಇದೆ.
Privileged ಇಲ್ಲ. I was reading somewhere I was reading. Where I went.
Control F ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ.
ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾನೆ. Somewhere I was reading that actually somewhere 31st. I just checked sir because I was reading few of the documents today morning. So I was reading that by 31st October the opening balance should be given. I'll just check sir that.
Madam, that was for RCM ITC.
RCM ledger, yeah. RCM ledger and reclaim ledger, yeah.
Madam, the RCM story, whatever it is there, no, please send it in our group, madam. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಕದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಅದು.
ನೀನು ಬರಲಿ ನೀರು.
And ಇದು ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ advanced IMS, QRMP is also covered. all this flow is there. And what is this
Okay.
upward amendment of credit note and downward amendment of credit note? If anybody can just give some thoughts on that. Downward amendment of invoice debit note and
See, credit note 100 rupees was issued, it became 120 or 80.
yeah, credit
That
note
is upward, downward. Alla?
original credit note was say 100
Huh,
rupees. Then
huh,
made it 120.
huh.
Still it is a credit note, but they are just increased that amount.
Yeah.
Then downward is 80 rupees. Now, again, they are saying downward amendment of invoice or debit note where original invoice was accepted. So here there is no upward, right? It is only downward in this invoice or debit note where it was accepted by the recipient and respective GSTR 3B is filed. So if already original debit note was given at 100 rupees, then the revised debit note can be at 80 rupees something. But I
See,
was not
because it'll lead to an impact of reduction on ITC note.
credit. Yeah.
In case of debit note, it will lead to reduction of ITC. In case of credit note, we need to reverse it additionally. The treatment is different, no, for debit
Yeah,
note and
treatment.
credit
I
note.
was
So
just trying to see why upward was not added. Something.
exactly, that is the reason.
ಏನೇ both of you discussed and agreed. ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದೇನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ.
Sir, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ sir. See, if it is a debit
ಏನಿಲ್ವಾ?
note, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ sir.
ಹಾ.
Sir, each point.
ಏನೋ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಟಿವಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ sir, we are trying to understand why this upward is not brought here ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ನೋಟಿಗೆ upward ಮತ್ತೆ actually word upward ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, increased and decreased ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಏನೋ ಅದು.
Sir, in case of invoice and debit note, in 3B we report it under 4A5, sir. Now credit note also they've added it as a reduction to it is a minus figure to 4A5. But as far as this debit note is concerned, if it is having a downward amendment, then it will reduce my ITC. Earlier I would have claimed the ITC based on the original values, which is on a higher side, and I would have accepted in.
If there is a debit, if there was a original invoice, that value has to be reduced. There has to be credit note, no?
This they are talking about uploading errors, I believe, sir, because debit note, the actual debit note was, let's say, 80 rupees, but they uploaded as 100. Now they're making a downward amendment to the debit note.
Okay.
The original document is something different. What is uploaded on portal is something different. That is the issue for upward, downward amendments for debit notes and credit notes.
And this last point, the liability of the supplier will be increased in 3B for the subsequent tax period for the invoices records which have been rejected by the recipient. Like original credit note rejected by the recipient, or if it is rejected, then saying that the liability of the supplier will be increased. So this is also has to be read along with that. So how it is, because somewhere I'm not accepting, it means it still remains the liability of the supplier.
Yeah, because he would have read.
Take an example.
Yes.
I have given you a credit note, which means I have suo moto sanctioned refund for myself.
Yes.
You are going to reject that credit note, then it has to come back as additional liability in the next month for me.
Yes.
Typically, scrap industry, they issue invoices and next September they issue credit notes.
Okay.
So I mean, the genuine suppliers or the dealers, they're really concerned about whom to deal with, and if they issue credit notes, they have received a lot of demands. I've seen few practical cases. So I think that will help the non-genuine credit notes which suppliers themselves issue it. So if these people reject it, so the positive action they have to take so that they can safeguard their own interest and the demand will get loaded back to the supplier.
Correct. I agree with Dhanasri. A full mess. No, because see, if there are too many touch points, there are too many places people can go wrong. Liability cannot arise without a supply. If that is fundamental, you can't force me to accept something and say you made mistake, and then say you have to pay tax again. And you see what will happen is notices will be given, will continue to come based on guesswork.
Mm.
Notices will continue to come based on guesswork.
Now a question comes in whether the rejection by recipient was correct or upload by supplier was correct.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that again becomes a matter of adjudication, sir. To
No, no,
be-
this can,
Mm.
see the number of cases, use cases we have to consider how to now raise grounds to dispute these things.
Mm.
Sir, it is either better to accept or keep it pending, sir, till the decision is taken. Reject is more dangerous, sir, actually, compared to this accept or pending.
No, I mean,
But
it's like
deemed accept is good now.
Yeah.
ನನ್ಗೇನು
Actually,
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
don't do
ನಾನೇನು
anything.
ಮಾಡ್-
Sir, ಮತ್ತೆ
When
again
the-
deemed acceptance ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, sir, in pending cases like where I have not received the goods and all. So rather.
See, I tell you what, you have not received the goods, you have received the invoice.
Hmm.
You're supposed to take the credit, keep it in 4B2, then take it back.
Hmm.
Mm.
But in each industry, what is the interval of time where there is a huge gap between invoice and actual delivery? If you take all of these things, those are very few and far between.
Yes.
If you create a system to catch exceptions, then the default will have to comply and be answerable for this. There must be some system log to say that it was accepted by default or accepted by party. If it is accepted by default, it gives a good ground to say that the acceptance, I know I was supposed to come, I didn't come, I didn't select it. System selected it for me. Now I have a grievance about it. People give financial credit notes, people give credit notes with GST when actually I am supposed to give invoice. These kinds of transactions. And financial credit note, mind you, finds a place in one circular
Mm.
where they recognize the existence of this creature called financial credit note. All right.
Maybe
Venu?
the rejection.
Sir, what is your view, sir? This system will all collectively make it fail or it will succeed, sir?
They will push us to do it, sir. They like
That RCM anyway, we didn't do anything. That August 22, they said you take all your opening balance, IGST, CGST, nothing, nobody did. Oh, I think only 2 people in our study group filed it, and that's all.
this is where my doubt now, sir. We have this amendment coming saying that, okay, RCM, whenever you are issuing self-tax invoice, you will take the credit.
Mm.
It's just that the time of supply will be still the same. So hence the interest will be from the date of time of supply. Credit would be from the date of issuance of the invoice.
Hmm.
However, there is no proper correlation from the audit perspective. Let's say an audit for the financial year 23-24, which just passed by, is happening now. And if the officer is saying that so much liability you have not paid, and someone is saying that no, I have paid in 25-26, and I have taken the credit, which there is no visibility for anyone to go do an audit there. Is there a way there now? Will they go and say that if you do not issue a self-tax invoice within so and so time, the credit is also going to be logged? Is somewhere I really don't know, because the need, technically the need for RCM liability ITC statement was not required. There were only earlier erstwhile service tax people, initially they were doing liability in 1 month, credit in next month. But over the period, this all got settled and the liability and credit happening in the same period.
But Venu sir, we can't rule out that everybody reported in 3.1D or 4A3 properly, no? There could be a wrong placement of the table.
No, so this statement is not for wrong placement of the table. The statement is only you paid the liability but not taken the credit, or you've taken the credit but not paid the liability.
So system can take it right away. Now, why bother the taxpayers? See, because system has the data of 3.1D cumulatively and 4A3 cumulatively. If the intention is not to give some space for the erroneous tabular reporting, then why the manual intervention of OB filling is required?
Just because that you might have done something wrong, instead of showing your RCM liability also as a regular liability, but you have availed the credit. Imagine your 3B value is higher than 1 and the difference was RCM and you have taken the credit. So this you would set right in 9. Your RCM opening statement is not to take care of those wrong reportings done in 3B. RCM statement is only for where you have actually paid the liability, not taken the credit, or erroneously taken the credit, but you have not paid the liability. You want to pay now and set right things so that now the system to become automatic.
The advisory covers these scenarios.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will negative
No,
balance
no.
will accept, sir? Venu sir?
No, Venu sir, I think this will work provided they will, whoever is trying to take RCM credit in 3B, they will link it to this mechanism now. Only then this will work, reporting in that RCM, the form, whatever they're going to bring in now.
There is a future.
Wherein, yeah, in future. Because otherwise this will not work. Otherwise the table today, GSTR 3B takes care, like as Madam discussed, GSTR 3B takes care of it today, as of today. But now slowly they will, force us. They will say RCM liability you pay in table 3, but table 4 you want to take the credit, the data should be available in this new utility they are going to bring in. Only then this will work. Otherwise, I don't think it will work.
No, this is basically locking 3B. So you will not be entering any value in 3B in any of the places. Everything will be automatic unless otherwise you have some opening balance brought forward from some ledgers. So that is why the
But liability may flow from 3B only, no, Venu sir. I don't think liability we have to report here. I think they are focusing only on the RCM credits here.
No, liability also. If you pay
Liability also.
the credit, you have taken the credit, but you have not availed, paid the liability, you will open balance, you put it reverse and take it so that in the next month it will offset. So eventually they don't want you to touch the ITC, they don't want you to touch the liability coming from R1. So they want to freeze wherever the possible places. And the reason why you want to edit because of some opening balance, so they brought these ledgers to fix the opening balance.
Yeah, I think according to me, unless they make it mandatory, unless they link this to 3B, I don't think this will work. The other point, what you raised, Venu sir, the other point, regarding the clarification, that circular, whatever they've given, self-invoicing you have not done, you do it now and take the credit. The thing is, interest will be there. But that aspect has been plugged now in the Finance Act. This Finance Act number 2, 2024, now it is mandatory for you to issue invoice also. There's a 31, there's a time limit now. So now I don't think we can take the benefit of the circular. That benefit of circular you can take up to this financial year or till the budget is implemented, whenever the date they notify. I think going forward, since self-invoicing also is linked to the deadline of 30th November, I don't think we can take benefit of the circular. I think even Jatin sir, recently you discussed on the taxman sir regarding the amendments made in the Finance number 2 Act. I don't think now going forward this will work, Venu sir. I think all the past cases, yes, you can do self-invoicing now, pay, take the credit. But of course, interest will be there. But going forward, I think they have plugged now because they've amended section 13, time of supply, read with section 31. I don't think going forward you can take the benefit of the circular.
The 31 is saying as may be prescribed. So we have to wait and see actually till what time they are going to bring.
So an invoice raised, a self-invoice raised beyond the time limit prescribed under 31(3)(f), new 31(3)(f), will it become invalid if it is raised after that period? Because it is not linked to Rule 36. I mean, if the rule comes up and if it is further linked to Rule 36 to say that an underlying credit ITC credit claim document should be as per 31(3)(f), then yes. If that rule is silent and not amended, then it cannot have the effect of invalidating a self-invoice which is dated beyond the prescribed rule, no?
Madam, 31 and go to 16.4 also. No? When 31 says 30th November, This matter ends now. Then you are also hit by 16.4, right? So how will you be allowed to take the credit going forward for all these RCM invoices? In the past, yes, I can rely on the circular, but I don't think so now, because the act is getting amended by way of this Finance Act. I don't think so we can take the benefit of the circular going forward, is what I have understood.
Yes, sir. Probably once we get we get the rules notified under 31, and probably we can revisit this discussion to see how things will change based on the rules prescribed.
Maybe Jatin sir can throw some light, because sir, you spoke on this sir recently on the Taxman series on the same aspect, I remember.
ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇದು ಏನ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಸರ್?
Sir, ಇವಾಗ self invoice, as per new section 31(3)(f) read with whatever rules they are going to prescribe, there is a cut-off date within which the self invoice has to be issued. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದ್ವಿ, 17-18 ಇವಾಗ ಕಂಡಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಇವಾಗ self invoice raise ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ current month 3 bill ಹಾಕಿ we would have claimed it. Now, once 31(3)(f) becomes operational and corresponding rules gets notified, and they fix up a time limit for issuance of self-invoice, if at all I issue a self-invoice beyond that date, will it invalidate my very document and will not give me the right to claim the credit on this question?
Yes, that is the apprehension, that they can make some rule like 48(5) saying that where e-invoice is applicable and you give manual invoice, it's not a invoice. If they say that this after that 13(3)(c) date, if you issue self-invoice, then it will not be an invoice and you're finished, no? Vijay sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But sir, without the rule also now I think 13(3)(c) read with 31 and read with 16.4. Now it is very clear, sir. After this Finance Number 2 Act, I don't think self-invoices we can generate after the deadline of 30th November. I think that is ruled out now.
I'm with you on that.
I hope Venu sir, I think you are with us now on this.
Yeah, I am of the same view. Even before the amendment also I was saying of this amendment is more like a helping thing, but I still believe that the credit for reverse charge should be in the same period and it cannot be deferred.
No, but I'm telling you, knowing especially the mining industry, where thousands and thousands of cases, especially GST and royalty, years and years people have not paid. Now, at least because of the circular, I am advising people pay now, take the credit. But after this amendment in the Finance Number 2 Act, I think now it is becoming difficult. This financial year and forward has become difficult. But till now, or till probably 23-24, we can take the benefit of the circular.
So what about RCM paid through DRC3?
Exactly, that's also, yes.
You have to litigate that, nothing else.
So ultimately, procedures cannot be so rigid that they will result in forfeiture of substantive remedy available in law. And tax cannot be demanded second time without taxable event occurring the second time.
So Venu sir, we can't include these values in the OB ledger for RCM. Discharge through DRC3 but claim through 3B. There are so many people who have done this as well.
No, and so many cases have been allowed also. In adjudication, in appeal, ITC is not disputed at all if it's DRC3 is shown.
Paid through DRC03, you should include. You paid, you have not taken.
So there is scope for manual. That is, yeah.
Advisory doesn't talk about it.
Entire ship, you can bring it down.
One siktu sir.
Just drag everything.
Yeah.
Jatin sir, ನೀವು ಡೇಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಇದು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಅಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ 31st October. ಇದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ. ಯಾವ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ 2 ನಾ?
ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್.
ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ there's one more circular somewhere, no? That advisory also ಕಳಿಸಿ.
ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದು
ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Madam, if you see here, this is only for the ledgers,
I-
madam, not IMS. RCM ledger and ITC reclaim ledger.
ಸರ್
madam.
RCM ledger ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ.
No, because IMS ಗೆ opening
I know.
ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೆಜರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, RCM ledger ಮತ್ತೆ ITC ledger ಗೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
So it is extended to 31st October now.
Yeah.
Madam, ಆ privilege document ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, IMS
IMS ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ.
ಇದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐತಲ್ಲ ಅದಾ?
ಯಾವುದು ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ? ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ ಅದು.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Even this agent also have added and press release.
Sir, I have one question regarding our discussion regarding the time limit that may be prescribed for self-invoice. Even subsection 31 subsection 1 and 2 also mentions the time within which an invoice has to be made by the supplier. So if the invoice is issued by the supplier or the debit note is issued by the supplier beyond November, then do we consider that as not a valid document for the recipient to take input tax credit? If that is the case, if there is a section 73 proceeding and pursuant to that proceeding, if any tax has to be paid, if the supplier issues the debit note, and if it is beyond 30th November following the financial year to which the supply pertains, then is the recipient ineligible to take credit because that document has been issued beyond the period prescribed?
I think should we wait for the rule actually to understand? Because
Better, lot of things. Yeah.
we have to wait for that rule actually, because 31 uses as may be prescribed. So we don't know which reference of rule we have to use for that 31. So I think let us wait. If there's any
I'm
further.
also wondering it might be linked to that ITC claim rules also. We don't know.
Yeah.
So if there is a specific linkage, that makes it very obvious then.
Sir, so many amendments in last 3 months, sir.
Good for practice, madam.
But so much thing are there, sir, together. Yes. So anything else or else?
I
Sir,
think
your views on my query, sir.
madam.
Your views, sir, on my query.
I'm separate, madam.
Okay, sir.
I have to understand question first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you.
Last minute,
Thank you.
we changed the
Thank you,
schedule.
Annapurna.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
You saved me today.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
And Bhuvaneshwari.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Pa.